Okay, so hello from Andy's library. Today we are starting our third solve along,
I think so.
and this is the first Miss Marple universe book. And this
Which
is all,
I don't think I've ever Marple at all before. So
I think I have, but I think I was young, so it's been a while. And I know I don't think I've ever read this one, but I'm a big fan of Hercule Poirot, so this is going to be interesting to see if I like her as much. So on this one, Caitlin and I are reading chapter 1 through 6, and there's already been a murder, and I have lots of notes. How about you?
I do too. Everything's on my Kindle. Well, I don't have this as you, I don't think. I've got a few things.
That's,
Jotted.
I like that. All right, so here we go. First things first, everybody wants to kill the person that's been killed.
So everybody has.
Everyone has a, and I like the fact that the vicar starts out with saying he should be killed and then yells at everybody else for saying he should be killed.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
vicar's kind of odd.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know if I like much.
Yeah, I don't think he's too good at his people skills. It's kind of funny
Mhm.
that right away she mentions or that he already has trouble communicating with the people in his parish, that he kind of makes them a little angry
Yes.
and doesn't know what he did wrong. He's kind of like, what?
Yeah, he might be a little socially awkward, maybe.
Yeah. I like his wife, Griselda.
See, I wasn't sure if I feel like I'm having a hard time like picking up on her sense of humor. And I think sometimes she's funny and I'm not picking up on it. So I think she might grow on me.
Yeah. Yeah. I think she's funny. I think it's interesting that she wanted to marry the vicar because he um could show like this passion that he couldn't deny. Like
Mhm.
even though he knew she wasn't an appropriate wife, he still wanted to marry her,
Right.
and she saw that in him.
Yeah, their relationship is interesting.
Hmm. I don't like lettuce.
I was gonna say, is her name Lettuce? Because that's what I've been saying in my head. Such a weird name.
I don't like her. I think she's annoying.
She is annoying. She's also one of my suspects.
Me too. Me too. I also think the nephew, what's his name? Dennis.
I think Dennis.
I think there's probably going to be more of him later.
Yeah.
Seems to be like running in and out. Although he's really young, I'm not sure that they would have a 16-year-old kill that she would have a 16-year-old kill
Because
someone.
he was one of my suspects too for should we get into
Yeah,
um like why?
yeah.
Or should we explain like
Um, so
well,
the colonel seems to be like, you mean like how he's related to everybody?
I don't know, it's like what happened.
Yeah, yeah. Give a synopsis because I think I'll go on too long.
Okay, so basically, um, the vicar gets called to somehow, like he gets a phone call that he needs to attend some. I think somebody was like apparently dying.
Hmm.
Um, and he gets there, and apparently he says that they act like they never called. They didn't have anybody. Like the person who was supposed to be dying was actually recovering, and so he returned to the vicarage, and as he's um what's his name, Lawrence
Yeah,
Lawrence
Lawrence, the
is
artist.
leaving, and he's all like, he seems very agitated, and it's a weird interaction. But anyway, Lawrence leaves. The vicar goes into his study, and Colonel Prothero is laying there murdered at his desk. He was shot, and so they like call in the police, and that's basically where we've left off. Is the police are now investigating, and um, so the gun that he was shot with, that the police are saying he was shot with, like the type of gun, we know Lawrence Redding admitted earlier on in the book that he has that same type.
Hmm.
And the reason I suspect Dennis is because he was there when Lawrence was saying what type of gun he has. So, like, he knows.
Oh, yeah.
Gun. And now I think also the vicar was there and it was there. I think it was the four of them when he was talking about the gun. So that made me
Okay.
suspect Dennis. Other than that, I don't have any other reason to suspect him, but I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's true because that at that meeting, Griselda, Lawrence, and Dennis were getting along, and the vicar was mad that the three of them were getting along so well because they're all so young. So that's
Uh-huh.
right. That's where he said he had a gun. The other thing that makes me think, so we all obviously Lawrence is defending, said he did it because he is afraid. I think he's afraid that the wife did it, that he's having an
That's
affair.
what I was thinking, yeah.
So I think that's why he um confessed. And that whole thing with that he wrote the letter and he said like 8:20 at the top, like or 6:20, whatever time he put at the top of his letter and said, I can't wait any longer. I think here's my thought is that Dennis wrote that and the colonel would have used military time, so he would have said like 18:20.
Okay, yeah. That's I like that.
Because the fact that they're talking about that clock over and over again, I'm thinking there must be another trick. Like it can't just be that the time was moved back 15 minutes. It has to be like maybe the current, like maybe Dennis didn't know. I don't know, but he would have written it in. Um, that's my thought. But
Yeah.
I think Dennis is just a little shocking that he's so young.
Yeah, I agree. But Agatha Christie,
She's pretty
she was,
pretty dark.
yep.
Yeah, we've seen that in the past.
Hmm. That's why I
I
like her.
yeah. So anything else we should add to this preliminary?
Um, Let me look at my notes. I guess a few questions. Um, just so like what that letter, like if the colonel did write the letter, what was it about?
Hmm.
To say that like, is this a motive for why somebody would want to kill him? Like he was about to share something better that they didn't want to be shared. Or I like your idea that maybe that's like something planted by the murderer just to lead people astray.
Yeah,
Um, and I am confused about the whole time thing. Like, why would the murderer want the date to, or time of death to appear to be like 22 or whatever it was?
that's true. And then also he said something about Colonel Prothero couldn't have been in the house at 6:05.
Yeah, because I think they're more around like 6:15.
Okay. Yes, Colonel was going to be there at 6:15 and then when the vicar tried to call him, they I guess he tried to call him and the colonel had already left. So yeah.
Yeah. I think that was like around 5:30 or something like that.
Okay. So he knew he would be. So I think that time thing and Reading Lawrence came out of the vicarage around 7, right?
Hmm.
So for him to have shot him and then been there for another 45 minutes doesn't make
Right.
sense. Like you wouldn't just waited around for 45 minutes.
Hmm. But like at this point, I feel like we don't really know when he was shot
True.
because the clock was tampered with. I trust the time on the clock or
Yeah.
on the letter.
And we know that, so that was my thought. They're saying that the clock would have been turned forward 15 minutes, but maybe it wasn't. Like maybe it was that he was shot at six, maybe he was shot at 6:20 and the murderer turned the clock back.
But I think it said, like the clock said like 6:22.
And that's 15 minutes fast. So it was actually
Right.
six. Okay. Six
Yeah.
was,
The thing, the clock is like messing with my mind. It's so hard to think about.
I know. Well, could he have been shot at 6:45 and the person moved the clock back?
Yes.
Or could he have been shot at 6:20 and the person moved? Could he have been shot at 6:20 and the person moved
Yeah.
to give
Like if
themselves
he
a,
was shot at 6:20, the
yeah.
would have been saying what, like 6:35,
Hmm.
and then the person who could have moved it back to 6:20, like for, but it's like that's my question is why did they move it, like it just seemed like he was killed at that time.
Maybe to give themselves an alibi, like I didn't get here till this time,
Okay, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
so they killed them and then moved it back.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe then. So actually, we should look at who was in and out of the house earlier.
Yeah, and I thought it was just Lawrence who was like let in by.
Hmm. Dennis Lettuce goes in and out as she wants, so we still have her. And
Hmm.
also, what was that whole thing about? I have to get into the study to find my yellow beret. Like, so
Yeah.
that whole thing just seems like, oh, and didn't Miss Marple say she's not as vague as she thinks?
Yes.
She
Yeah.
seems. So I think, yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
And that could be a reason for Lawrence to like falsely turn himself in, that the woman he's in love with, her daughter, or he might even just think it's Anne.
true. Yeah. So yeah, so Lawrence suspects, and Miss Marple's kind of going down that road when she was like, well, then that makes perfect sense that he confessed.
Yeah.
So she's, I think that's going to be really revealed probably pretty quickly.
Yep.
That he's so yeah. So I'm thinking it's still someone that was in and out before 6:30 and moved the clock back.
I think that would make sense.
Okay. All right. So right now we're thinking Dennis or lettuce.
Yep. Dennis or lettuce. It
Okay.
rhymes.
We're pretty good at solving these.
Yeah. So
All right. So next we're going to read 7 through 12.
yeah, like including 12.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye. I'm going to stop recording now.